I still couldn't believe it. 2 years wasted. For 2 years, I dated Ji-young. What did it mean to her? Just free dinners and rides to places? What else? For weeks, I wallowed in self-pity, shut in my room, hearing the ticking of the clock as I tried desperately to find sleep. Instead, I found myself questioning everything, wondering if anything I had done was worth a damn. It came to its worst when I bought a gun from the dark web, adamant on ending it all right there. Until a letter slid from underneath my front door. I opened it. "Hey Dongyan, we were wondering how you were feeling, man. You haven't picked up the phone, and we tried knocking, but no one answered. Come see us at Hansok's on Saturday. The themed Squid game, you know. It's the Netflix show that everyone's talking about. Hope to see you soon, buddy. From Minjae." I sighed and scrunched up the letter, tossing it into a bin. I went on Amazon and ordered myself a costume. I might as well go to the party. About a week later, I found myself at the front door of Hansok's, wearing the green jumpsuit from the show. I'd only watched about half of it. Correction, I watched half of it with my girlfriend. Well, before, you know. It was okay, but never really caught on to me. But it was the theme of the party, so I followed it reluctantly. Before leaving my car, I checked the glove compartment, and there was my gun. I still didn't feel happy inside, and even on the drive here, those suicidal tendencies didn't seem to go away. I vowed to keep the damn thing with me until I felt better somewhat. But hell, things still weren't looking good. Hansok's house was outside of the city, this small cottage that he rented from his grandma. It was a nice change of environment from the constant hustle and bustle of the city. I felt 10 pounds lighter already. I knocked and was almost thrown aback as a familiar face threw its arms around me. It was my friend Yuna. She had always been good to me, even as kids.
"Come inside,"
she said, taking my hand and leading me inside.
"You're contestant 456, right?
Huh?
Your number, silly.
She jabbed a finger against my chest.
Have you even watched the show?"
Little, yeah. Anything else she said was lost on me as I noticed her. Rage burned inside me. I clenched Yuna's hand tighter. Across the hall, there she was, my ex, Ji-young. And beside her, none other than Tae-hyung, the guy she replaced me with. I caught her attention, and she stopped mid-conversation. I was brought back by a slap on the wrist.
"Hey, you're hurting me."
Sorry.
"What are you looking at?"
Yuna looked at Ji-young and nearly choked.
"Yikes, I completely forgot. Come on, we'll hang out with these guys."
When my friends saw me, they let out a cheer. "So he ain't dead after all." I winced a bit. "Or he's back from the dead," said Hansok, slapping a hand around my shoulder. "Look, man, I didn't know Tae-hyung was gonna invite her, alright? I'm sorry." I chuckled in response and assured him that everything was okay. "Things happen, man, but I'm over it." "Good to hear. Now, who's up for a game?" Everyone gathered around, and it was only then that I noticed Hansok was the only one wearing a different costume. We were in the green jumpsuits, but he wore this black outfit, complete with the mask. If I remember right, he was supposed to be the front man or something. It was only fitting, being the host of the party and all. Every now and then, I stole a glance at Ji-young. She seemed so happy. Why couldn't I be like that? Before I could think of anything else, Hansok clapped his hands together, catching our attention. "Today we'll be recreating the games from the show, ladies and gentlemen." He bowed and led us into his garden. It was a sizable one, with enough space to run around in it. I think most of us knew what the game was before it even began. Hansok then explained the rules of red light, green light. At the end of it, he reached into his pocket and drew out a pistol. We all chuckled a little as he pretended to shoot each one of us. Without further ado, he turned his back on us, and we slowly made our way to the other end. Anytime he turned around, we stopped in our tracks, and so on. We continued this pattern until all of us were only about 5 meters or so from reaching him. I noticed Han-sok didn't make a single sound, not even when we giggled or laughed. It felt a little off. Suddenly, Taehyung tripped, caught mid-sprint by a pothole. He shrugged his shoulders as Han-sok pointed his weapon at him, and then fired. It sounded a lot louder than what we were expecting, but instead of a yelp or short cry from getting hit by a BB pellet, Taehyung just fell on his face. No sound whatsoever. We all withheld from laughing, but amusement turned into horror when a red patch began to form under him. Han-sok turned his back again, but this time I ran backwards. I didn't stop until I reached the house again and ducked under a table. Outside, I heard more gunshots and then screams. Just barely, I could make out the lifeless corpses of Taehyung and Min-jae. Ji-young and Yuna were nowhere to be seen. Tentatively, I snuck towards the front door and opened it, barreling into my car. Jamming my key in, I turned the ignition, but my heart sank when the engine started and died. I tried again, and once more the car failed to start. With no other options, I took my gun from the glove compartment and hid. So many thoughts ran through my head. Was this real? Am I in a dream? Why am I such a coward? I ran from everything in my life, and I was doing it again. I thought of Yuna and realized it wasn't fair. She had always helped me at my lowest points, and it was about time I returned the favor. I left the car and ran back into the garden. The first thing I saw was Ji-young, dead, slumped on the floor. Sickeningly, I didn't feel anything but relief. She had been the cause of my sadness, and now she had gotten what she deserved. It was quiet. Too damn quiet. The wind whipped through the cottage, shaking windows and whistling around the room. It seemed almost abandoned, but I knew he was out there somewhere. I didn't think we were gonna make it, but we did. We're safe now, I'm sure.
Frontman 29 has been eliminated. Contestants 67 and 456 have advanced to the next stage. Arrange for their arrival and let the next game commence.